So this is a help video on plotting the CV data graphs. So here's some sample data from the Crystal Violet lab. Not the data I gave you, but I'm going to show you how to plot the graph. First thing you want to do is copy the whole column of time, and we're going to paste it in columns C and then again in column E. And the reason why we're doing that is because it's easier to plot the graphs on the iPad if you have the two columns of data next to each other. So we want time to be on the x-axis for all three graphs. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to program the column D to calculate the natural log of the absorption. So first thing I'm going to do is just type in ln of A as my column header, and then I'm going to click in the next box so you can see a little better here. If you hit an equal sign, that tells Excel that you're going to do a calculation. Now we're going to start typing the equation. So you just type in L, and then you have all these choices. So you're going to choose ln for natural log. And then you're going to click on the number that you want to calculate the natural log for, which is in cell B2. So your first data point. So if you just click on that number, you click on the cell, and now you have the equation, natural log of B2. If you hit return, it's going to automatically calculate the natural log of that number. So far, so good. Let's not retype everything. We can program the column. So if you click on that cell again and then click a second time, you're going to get a pop-up menu. And here we can use the fill feature. So click on fill, and then your little dots turn into squares in the corner. So you want to drag one of those squares all the way down the column, and then it'll automatically do that same calculation for the entire data set. So here it goes, and ta-da! Now we have the natural log of each of our absorption measurements for the whole column. Isn't that fantastic? Now if you want to double check, you can click on any one of those and you look in the function bar up at the top, and you can see that this cell is calculating the natural log of B7. Okay, so good. It's programmed correctly. Now we're going to do the same thing for column F. For this column, for our second order graph, we need 1 over absorption. And now I'm going to click in F2, cell F2, and there's no pre-programmed equation for this. I'm just going to type 1 backslash, and then now I'm going to click on the number I want to calculate. So I'm going to click on cell B2. And now I'm going to calculate 1 over the quantity in B2. And then I can go back and use the fill feature again, and that will allow me to click on fill and then drag the square box all the way down, and it's going to do that calculation for the entire column. So now I'm ready to plot my 3 graphs. So I have 3 sets of data. I'm going to generate 3 graphs, and then I'm going to figure out from the graphs the order of the reaction. Okay, so the graphing is the same as what I taught you before, but I'll give you a run through. So if you highlight the column headings, it will give you a little bit of labeling on your graph. So I'm highlighting the entire data set for time versus A. We want to XY scatter, dots only, and then go to layouts. Here's our beautiful graph. Okay, first thing I'm going to do here is change the title so I don't get confused. So the title is going to be A versus time. So this is going to be, if that's a straight line, it's my 0 order. Okay, so now go to layouts. Make sure you're clicked on your graph when you do this. And then we're going to scroll down a bit, choose the one that's the second to the bottom on the left column. Now we need to get rid of all these annoying things like the legend. Go under elements and get rid of the legend. You don't need a legend for one data set. Get rid of those pesky grid lines. Goodbye, goodbye. Who needs grid lines? Okay, so here's our graph. So this is our 0 order graph. Now you're going to go through the same process. You can resize it, you can move it around. What I like to do is just kind of put it out of the way for now and then go do my next one. So now we're going to run through the same process with the next set of data. So you'll highlight the data set. You're going to go to the Insert menu, Insert Charts, XY Scatter, etc., etc. And you're going to generate your graphs, and then you can use the correlation value to figure out what order your reaction is.